This is ABC15 Mornings.
We are heading into the final weekend before Election Day.
We've done an incredible job. Incredible job.
Millions of people are out of work, on the edge. Who will the country choose?
It's very heartbreaking to know that a lot of employees depend on us, and there was just so little we could do.
As COVID cases continue to go up, too many people are still looking for work.
Plus, volunteers making a difference.
She was always excited to join. She was always, "Mom, don't forget my session."
A special program helping kids learn to read.
And Disney's biggest blockbuster of 2020 returns with a new mission.
I think a lot of that is going to be fueled, too, by some of the cutest Halloween costumes ever, right, with Baby Yoda? Good morning to you. Thank you for starting your Friday with us. We're thrilled you're here. Kaylee O'Kelly here in studio for ABC 15 Mornings. My friend Nick Saletti is social distancing from the newsroom.
Yeah, happy Friday, Kaylee. Happy Halloween Eve,
there
we'll
you
say,
go.
to everybody watching. Yeah, I know everyone's probably putting the finishing touches on their costumes and their socially distant plans, of course, and hopefully that candy. Can't forget about that. Meteorologist Iris Hermosillo is helping us out this morning. She's got a quick look at our most accurate forecast as we kick off our Friday. Good morning to you, Iris.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, we are off to a cool start, but we are in the midst of another warm up with temperatures climbing even further as we head into the weekend. But this morning, a cool 63 degrees at Phoenix Sky Harbor. So I don't think we're going to drop out of the 60s in Phoenix, but we do have plenty of 50s around the valley this morning. We're just not seeing those 30s and 40s like we saw a few days ago. A few high clouds moving through as well. So a cool start to what's going to be a warmer day, and that means a quicker warm up too. Look at that temperature by lunchtime, already to 81 degrees by noon. Yesterday's high 85. That's where we'll be by 2 o'clock, but then we're going to warm a little further all the way up to 88 degrees this afternoon. So that puts us back about 5 degrees above the normal high for this time of year, and again warmer than yesterday with some high clouds streaming through at times. Today we reach the upper 80s, tomorrow upper 80s as well, and then we're into the 90s on Sunday. Believe it or not, the first day of November, 93 degrees. We'll talk about how long we'll see those 90s in that 7-day forecast. Hey, Chelsea, you've got an update on our Friday morning drive for us.
Good morning, Iris. Yep, that's right. I've been watching the roadways here, zooming around, showing different parts of the freeways with our accident log group traffic maps. For the most part, our freeways are showing Friday-like conditions, meaning lots of green out there, low desert drive times, which is good. East Valley especially looking clear. When we zoom in closer through Tempe, there are a couple trouble spots. One is at 32nd Street near Loop 202 Red Mountain, so you might want to use 24th or 40th or even 44th Streets instead. And the other one was Surface Street level, and it's near University Drive and Rural. So I'm going to look into that one for you, bring you some more information on that. But from the west side of town, if you're traveling on any of the freeways, even parts of Grand Avenue, seeing mostly green flows. It's only going to be slow once you get closer to the stack on I-10 eastbound, traveling around 22 miles per hour. I-17 slow around the Durango curve, but the rest of I-17 is clear, and the North Valley freeways as well. Desert drive times, like I mentioned at the very beginning of this traffic hit, are below average for this time of day. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Chelsea. This is the last day for early voting here in the state of Arizona, and there are nearly 100 voting centers open right now in Maricopa County. There will be 175 voting centers up and running by Election Day. The county recorder's office started tabulation last week, and so far things appear to be running smoothly. This weekend, more official ballot drop boxes will be open, and these are secure drop boxes where you can drive through and drop off your ballot. Some of the locations include State Farm Stadium, Hohokam Stadium, Sloan Park, Goodyear Ballpark, and Tempe Diablo Stadium.
Vice President Mike Pence will be in Arizona today. This morning, he'll hold a rally at the Flagstaff Airport, then head to Tucson's airport in the afternoon for another rally. It's his third trip to Arizona in as many months. President Donald Trump will head to multiple battleground states today: Minnesota, Michigan, and Wisconsin. As for the Democratic presidential candidate, former Vice President Joe Biden, he's set to hold events in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa, and his running mate, Senator Kamala Harris, will visit 3 different cities in Texas.
Well, Governor Doug Ducey and Superintendent Kathy Hoffman at odds over the state's decision to change the COVID-19 benchmarks for schools. The guidance from the state health department now recommends schools return to virtual learning when all 3 benchmarks are in the red category. Now, originally, it said if 1 or more benchmarks were in the red for 2 weeks, schools should go back to online courses.
Anything that's been done inside our schools has been done in coordination and cooperation with public education, leaders and public health officials. And what you're referring to was actually done at their request.
Hoffman says the Department of Education was not consulted. In an interview with our news partners KTAR, she called it a breakdown in communication, saying school leaders felt like they were left in the dark.
The message they received is a message to not close, even if there is substantial risk and high community spread of COVID, that they feel that this is an added pressure to keep their doors open for in-person instruction.
So the state health department says they have been holding weekly meetings with the school's reopening work group, and that group is made up of local health leaders and the Department of Education. A Department of Education spokesman acknowledges staff members were in those meetings, but claims they had no say in the decision.
Governor Doug Ducey says no further action will be taken right now to fight the coronavirus. During Thursday's news conference, we found out this update. It was recommended that people continue to social distance, avoid crowds, and try not to hold small gatherings that are inside homes. In a few hours, we'll get new figures on COVID-19. More than 1,300 new positive cases were reported yesterday. As we head into the Halloween weekend, both state and national officials are worried about people growing weary of pandemic safety protocols and different practices like social distancing and wearing masks. Mark Thompson joining us live now. Mark, right now the concern is about what has been dubbed COVID fatigue. So, of course, people maybe just loosening up a little bit when they should be making sure that they're still doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, Nick, COVID fatigue is very, very real. Good morning to you. People are starting to get a little bit too relaxed, though, Nick. In fact, over the past 3 days, we've seen more than 1,000 positive cases here in Arizona for each of those 3 days in a row. And it's not just us. Last week, the U.S. reported the highest number of cases since the pandemic began. Experts point to a couple of reasons. First, as you mentioned, more people are now hosting small gatherings indoors and often not wearing masks inside of the homes with extended family members or friends. Second, COVID fatigue after 8 long months of being cooped up. Many of us have really just stopped using good judgment. And we spoke to a family therapist who says that many of us are also seeing other people look like they're having fun on social media, and that leads to the fear of missing out.
Because if we're seeing all of our friends go get together, or people are having birthday parties and our mom or our parents or whatever are telling us not to, or we're told through media, right, it's not safe. CDC guidelines are such. And I think that seeing those things happen can slowly but surely prove to us that it's okay, even though it's not.
And with Halloween this weekend, this is not the time, health officials say, to stop being vigilant. On Thursday, Dr. Kara Chris warned that if people are not careful tonight and tomorrow, we could see a dramatic spike coming up in 2 weeks. They are also concerned about Thanksgiving. The same scenario there. If people aren't careful during Thanksgiving, we could see a dramatic spike in cases 2 weeks after that holiday as well. Reporting live this morning, Mark Thompson, ABC15 Arizona. Guys, back to you.
Yep, Mark, important reminder. Thank you. Happening this morning, the mayor of Tempe, Corey Woods, will give his first State of the City address. That speech is set to begin at 8:30.
Well, tonight, how about a well-deserved celebration for our first responders here at home? American Leadership Academy Gilbert North is set to host its 4th annual First Responders Appreciation football game. Now, a pre-game ceremony is going to happen. It is set to happen along with fireworks, and the team is going to be playing Gilbert Christian High School. That ceremony starts at 6:45. The state health department is giving the Arizona Cardinals clearance to allow more fans into their next 2 home games. 4,200 people will be allowed inside State Farm Stadium. Season ticket holders will be able to purchase seats. The team, by the way, on a bye this weekend before they host the Miami Dolphins November 8th.
Next on ABC 15 Mornings, jobs lost and many never coming back. Why some in the Latinx community say the election is about bringing back the economy.
Then, being safe and spooky at the same time. Yeah, we have, with a sneeze and all, we have a list of fun Halloween events and ideas happening all over town and safely social distanced. Catch you up on your Friday morning top stories here. An extradition hearing set for 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse today. The Illinois teenager facing homicide charges, accused of fatally shooting 2 men and wounding a third during all of that unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin back in August. His legal team says he acted in self-defense. For the past 2 months, he's been a juvenile at a juvenile detention center in Illinois. 3 civil rights groups are challenging an executive order from the Trump administration on diversity training. That order says federal agencies, contractors, and grant recipients cannot offer certain courses. The lawsuit argues it violates free speech. And a new study is finding 1 in 4 Americans are sleeping less during the pandemic. Researchers surveyed more than 2,000 people, 1 in 5 saying they're drinking more alcohol.
ABC 15 Desert Drive Time, sponsored by Accident Law Group.
All right, we're going to take a look at the Accident Law Group traffic maps here. I'm going to zoom us over to the east side of town. Was adding just a few things because I got a little more information of what's happening in Tempe. Overall, though, our valley freeways on the east side are clear. US 60, the 202s, I-10, all looking good this morning, even Loop 101. Surface street level when you travel throughout downtown Tempe. University Drive just east of Rural. There's a fire that started earlier this morning, shortly after 5 a.m. So as crews are out there responding, could be an area you'll want to avoid. It's definitely more yellow than other parts of the maps here, so you can use Broadway or Rio Salado Parkway to get by. Also, not too far from there, a crash that's on 32nd Street near Loop 202. If you use any other connecting streets to get onto the freeway, you could use 40th Street or 24th Street. At this point, I'm not seeing a closure or any big delays. The north stretch is also clear. We're seeing green flows for I-17, Loop 101, the 303, State Route 74 as well. And overall desert drive times look good. I didn't show you the west side of town because honestly, I don't need to. Look at this desert drive time, 13 minutes to go eastbound on I-10 from Loop 101 over to the mini stack. No delays, no crashes right now, but I will check back in with you in a few and I'll let you know if anything changes.
Okay, thanks, Chelsea. Hey, on this Friday, I'm going to start off with a Friday fun fact for all of my Valley natives who may remember this day back in 1982. Yeah, it was a long time ago, but man, we had a significant winter storm move in that day, move across the state. It brought 8 to 18 inches of snow to the high country, areas above 6,000 feet, and 1 to 4 inches of rain with widespread flooding. I was even reading that there were rock slides that forced people in Oak Creek to have to evacuate. So that happened on this day, again, a long, long time ago. So if you remember that day, hey, let me know. I'd love to hear from you on social media. Send me a message, or of course, you can always email us at share@abc15.com. Now, our outlook for today and this weekend looks a lot different. We're not tracking a winter storm. Instead, we're tracking a warm up that's coming our way this weekend. We're already starting to feel it. Yesterday and today, we're going to feel it. But this weekend, we're talking 90s. November is going to start off much warmer with high temperatures in the 90s. You're going to notice a few clouds at times, but otherwise we're staying dry. This morning, we've got a few high clouds across our valley skies, mostly clear conditions overall, though, with cool to chilly temperatures in the 50s to 60s. Phoenix Sky Harbor officially right at 63 degrees. Chandler checking in at 52. It's 61 in Mesa, mid 50s in Glendale, and Avondale, you're right at 59 degrees. Now we're starting to get a little bit of that daylight out there. You will notice mostly clear conditions as the sun comes up, and as we get into this afternoon, mostly sunny as well. This evening, a few more high clouds drift in as we head into what's going to be a partly cloudy weekend. But again, we're staying dry. Temperatures warming a little faster into the low 80s by as early as lunchtime today. Then 85, our temperature by 2 o'clock. That was yesterday's high temperature. We'll add a few more degrees to our high today, up to 88 this afternoon in Phoenix. And then if maybe you want to cook out on your patio this evening, temperatures back down into the low 80s by 6 p.m., then into the mid 70s by 8 p.m. It's going to be a milder day across the state, a high of 79 today in Kingman, mid 60s in Flagstaff, and low 70s in Payson. Globe, you'll top out at 75 with a high of 66 today in Show Low. Now we've got mostly clear conditions across the state. You can see just a few high clouds along the eastern rim and White Mountains, and again a few high clouds drifting across our valley skies. But we've got more high clouds to our southwest. They're off the coast of Baja California, but it's those clouds that are going to be streaming in across our skies here over the next few days. What you're not going to see on Futurecast, though, is any rain. We will stay dry, not just in the valley, but across the state through the weekend. Again, just at times we'll see more cloud cover. So instead, we've got that warm up. Today, a high of 88. Then tomorrow, we're up to 89 degrees. And then by Sunday, the first day of November, 93 degrees will be our high. So a little toasty as we kick off the new month. And then temperatures look to stay in the low 90s Monday and Tuesday, and really for most of next week. Beyond Thursday, And into next weekend, it looks like temperatures may start to drop again. But in the meantime, again, tracking more of those 90s and unseasonably warm temperatures with overnight lows cooling into the mid-60s each day. So those mornings won't be as cold as they've been either. We'll see a few more high clouds through the weekend, but it's staying dry. Now, I know Halloween's going to look a lot different for families, but I've got an alternative option, a safer option that you might want to partake in here as we go into Saturday with a full moon in store. We'll talk more about that in the next half hour, Nick.
Iris, thank you. 617. As we all know, COVID-19 has resulted in a lot of job losses. People worried about the economy and unemployment. That's become the top issue for Latinx entrepreneurs.
Lucy Hernandez is a mom looking for work, laid off from her serving job at a hotel more than 6 months ago.
I've been working in the company for 20 years. And it's just like one day you come to work and they tell you, we don't have a job for you anymore. It's stressful. I've been going through, I think, depression.
A Pew Hispanic survey shows that Latinos are among the hardest hit by coronavirus job losses, and it could get worse.
My husband works in a hotel. His place is open right now, but who knows what's coming.
Many Latinos say the election is no longer about Democrat and Republican, but about who can bring back their jobs.
I mean, in the end, I'm going Democrat. I am.
Priscilla Fuentes manages a restaurant. Business is down, and her family had to lay off some workers.
It's definitely been a struggle, and we've slowly started to get back to what we were pre-COVID, but it's still a long ways away before we get anywhere near the capacity or even sales that we had before. It's very heartbreaking to know that a lot of employees depend on us, and there was just so little we could do.
With cases increasing nationally, there is a major concern that hospitality and restaurants are going to get hit even harder.
Well, today, UPS is preparing for the holidays, holding its annual one-day hiring blitz. It's called Brown Friday. The company looking to fill more than 2,200 spots here in the Valley, too. There are full-time and part-time positions available, and UPS is holding both in-person and virtual events today. To learn more, just go to upsjobs.com/Brown Friday.
Arizona's eviction moratorium set to expire this weekend. Ahead, the document that could keep people in their homes through the rest of this year. Plus, costing you more to stream, Netflix is getting a little more expensive.
Your voice, your vote, and it's never been more important than now. ABC15 has been talking to voters, embedding in the campaigns, and leaning on experts. In-depth insight, real-time reaction, and above all, facts and accuracy as we bring you the results. Join ABC15 Arizona, your home for election coverage.
Hey everyone, Smart Shopper Chelsea Davis here, and Halloween is just around the corner. So if you need a last-minute costume for safe trick-or-treating, I'm testing out some hacks and I'll let you know if they're bull or no bull. Does your character require pointy ears? Well, Band-Aids can help. I use 2 Band-Aids, folding them around my ear in different directions to make a point. And in comparison to my other ear, this ear is looking sharp. I'm going with no bull for this hack. Got a glue gun at home? You can make a mask. Just lay down parchment paper and design whatever your heart desires. You could make glasses, a festive mask for a Mardi Gras theme. You can even make them colorful with paint or sparkles. Alas, I must dash this question. Where does this hack rank on our bull or no bull meter? I'm going with no bull! I also saw a hack where you can take the top of the hanger, attach it to a styrofoam cup or disposable cup, put your hand inside, and you can become Captain Hook. What hacks do you want me to try? Email me at smartshopper@abc15.com.
I love that Captain Hook. That's so easy, right? That's fun. Great ideas, Chelsea. Okay, so now that we have some costume ideas for you, we've got some fun things for you to check out here in the Valley as well.
Yeah, the city of Phoenix is hosting a drive-through trunk or treat event at the Maryvale Community Center. It goes from 6 to 9 tonight.
In Mesa, 3 of the city libraries are holding Boo parades, and they're going to run from 2 to 3 in the afternoon there in the library parking lots.
And Park West in Peoria is hosting a drive-through Boo Bash. There will be Halloween characters and musical entertainment. Park West will donate $1 to St. Mary's Food Bank for each car that drives through.
Well, up next here on ABC15 Mornings at 6:30, we all know it has been a tough year for our kids, especially when it comes to learning. But there is a remarkable program helping kids embrace a love of reading. Then time is ticking. Next week, landlords can start removing tenants. Our Let Joe Know team with a form that can help renters.